finish this week with something that's really important, and it's trying to understand why people don't do what they said they would do. I'm sure we've all come across people who say they really want to do something and then they actually just don't do it. They say they're going to get bookings in their empty diary, or they say they have to make this business work and they're going to recruit up a storm, but then they don't make a single phone call. This sort of thing happens in daily life as well, and we probably do it ourselves. We say we're going to get organised once and for all, and 6 months later we're in exactly the same state. Or we say we have to lose weight and get fit, and we can list so many reasons why failure is not an option, but then we don't follow through and we put weight on rather than the opposite. In our businesses, we can get so frustrated with people who say they're going to do things and don't, because we might be really good at doing everything that we need to in our business. But how many of us show exactly the same behaviour in some aspects of our personal life? And I'm going to put my hand way up there because I'm certainly no different to anyone else. Over the years there have been things that I've really wanted to achieve, but I've had real blocks with and haven't managed to get anywhere. So I've started making it a project to find out how I can get around these blocks and actually achieve the things that I want to achieve, all of them. There are many reasons why people don't do what they said they would. And one thing is for absolute sure, at the time of saying it, we always genuinely mean what we say. But something seems to go wrong. And this is a real problem because not only do we not achieve what it is that we really, really want to, but it erodes our self-esteem and it limits us in other ways as well that probably show up in other parts of our lives. So we can come up with so many good reasons why we didn't achieve something. Maybe our health, maybe something to do with our family, maybe time. There are lots of popular ones, and we did talk about these things earlier this week. But at the end of the day, the net result is we did not achieve what we wanted to. So if we can work out some of these reasons for ourselves about how we get in our own way, we might just be able to get past them and finally lose weight, get the bookings, recruit up a storm, achieve the reward trip, or whatever it is that we're really, really wanting to achieve. So if we could crack this part of the puzzle, it's going to help us help our team members as well when they sincerely tell us how much they want to be successful, but they don't seem to be able to do anything about it. And once we realise that although we might be frustrated with people who don't do what they said they were going to do, but then find out that in some parts of our own lives we're actually no different, it means that we can have more patience and understanding. So we know as leaders it's frustrating when a team member says she really wants more bookings and then doesn't make any phone calls. Or when someone says they really want to learn, but they always have an excuse not to attend training. And there are lots of other things as well, but maybe we can understand a little bit better now. So what is it for you? What's something that you really want to achieve, but you just don't seem to be doing? Maybe it's something in the business, for example, promoting to the next level, or maybe it's something personal like losing weight or getting fit. Why not use this as an experiment to see how you can get yourself to do this thing that you're really wanting to achieve? I want to share with you a list of things that contribute to whether you do something or not. They're not all going to mean something to you, and there may be some others that you think of that I've missed. And if so, please make sure you share them. But if we know which ones out of this list affect us the most, we might just be able to get past them. So I'm going to share the list and you just have a look and see which things you think might be a help for you as you work to achieve your goals. First one is going public, and not just going public with anyone, but with some very specific people. You need to go public with people who you don't want to fail in front of. So I could go public with close friends about my goals and something I really, really want, maybe losing weight, and it wouldn't have the same power as me being public with, for example, you as goal-getters. That's why I set mags for myself in the cafe. It's really out there. I can hardly be helping people overcome resistance and they're not being able to do it myself. So going public is important. And you can do this in your team. If you're a leader of a team, you can go public with your goals, and then you need to be seen to be achieving them, or at least doing all that you can and not giving up. It definitely makes you work hard and do all that you can to get to your goal. Education's very important. You have to know what you're doing. If you're trying to get bookings, for example, and you feel like you're doing everything possible but it's not working, then what do you have to change, or what do you have to learn? Where do you have to go to learn it? Who do you need to talk to? Reframing is also very important. When you're losing weight, for example, and you're feeling a little bit hungry, the twinges in your stomach could be hunger pains, or they could be a sign that the weight's falling off. How you think about them makes a difference. So when you're not getting bookings, for example, do you say, I can't get bookings? Or do you say, I'm learning what I need to do so I can get lots of bookings? What's around you is very important. When people are struggling and they're surrounded by others who are also struggling, it certainly can't be any help to them. So have a look around your environment. Is there anything that needs to change there? Think about how you do things. System changes are very powerful. What might need to change in your system in order to be able to help you get the results that you want? Think about people who never get time to make phone calls, for example. What changes do they need in how they do things? Now, there's a really good article in the blog about system changes with lots of good ideas, and I've put a link to that in your notes as well. There's quite a few postings from other people there about system changes they've made as well, so make sure you go and have a look at that. We need to be honest. It's really important for anyone to understand that no matter what, it's not your upline, it's not the company, it's not the current promotion, it's not the economy, it's us. There's no rock to hide under. No bookings in our diary is us, no matter what anyone says. If you look around and there are other people who are doing what you're struggling to do, it's not impossible to do it, and the key lies with us. Cheering people on is crucial. Just see how hard kids try when you turn up to their sports day. I can remember arriving a little bit late to one of my son's sports days, and when I got there, he's busy looking around for me. As soon as he saw me, I could just see he was ready to try really hard. He wanted to make me proud. And I'm sure you've noticed the same thing yourself if you've been along to anyone's sports days or supported anybody in something similar. You go further and you try harder with support. And that's why it's a really important part of Goal Getters that we cheer each other on. Being accountable, something that we all know we need, but we don't necessarily like. So have a think about how can you be more accountable. Can you get a buddy? Can you start a mag? What else can you do? And you need lots of reminders. You need to be able to connect to the feeling of success, of the feeling of you already achieving your goal. You need a vision board. Maybe you can visualize yourself wearing smaller clothes if losing weight is the thing that you're working on. You need to be able to remind yourself about your why. And in the first course of Goal Getters, 5 things you must do to be outrageously successful, we had 2 lessons, 2 weeks, just on your why and your vision. So you might want to go back and review those as well. The 10th item on the list is urgency, and it's so important that it gets a slide all to itself. Just look at how much you get done before you go on holiday. And what about all of those customer care calls that you suddenly make when you're just short of a target? Isn't it interesting that we don't do those things when they're not urgent? We need to find a way to create urgency somehow. And one of the ways to do this is set up a mag, which I've mentioned several times. But by doing that, it's public and you can set a deadline. That's one way, but there are other ways as well. So I'm hoping that you'll share your thoughts in the cafe and let us know what ways you're going to create some urgency. People will pull out all the stops when there's a deadline, when there's a qualification for an incentive or they want to step up a level. So deadlines do create urgency, and I sometimes wonder if without urgency anything would ever get done. So when you don't have that feeling of a deadline or urgency, drift can happen. Things that shouldn't take so long get drawn out to take an awful lot longer than they should. So anything with a deadline is powerful, and we need to be able to put that in place. So there are 10 suggestions for things that you can do to try and help you actually get a goal that you've been wanting to achieve but haven't been able to, and also things that you can put in place with your team to help them achieve things that they want to do but are struggling to do as well. There may be more than 10. There may be some other things that people think of that they share, but out of all of the suggestions, which are the ones that you can use to make sure you actually get to where you want to go? If your goal's really important, you have to make sure there's no easy way out. You have to give yourself every single chance there is to get there. Have a think about how we can help in the Goal Getters and what other help you need from outside the Goal Getters, I really encourage you to choose a goal and start a mag, and also to look in on other people's mags as often as you can so that you can cheer them on and give them support and some more ideas as well. That way, we're all going to get to our goals so much more quickly, and it's going to be a lot of fun getting there.